Good afternoon, friends. Hope you're keeping very well. Just want to jump on here. Got a word that I just would like to share that I got from the Lord yesterday. I was just listening to some of the speeches going on with Obama, in support of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. And the interesting thing that struck out to me was they both made mention of these so-called conspiracy theories, like they were, I don't know how better to say it, excuse the way it comes out, but like they were poo-pooing the conspiracy theories, like, so we know what kind of what audience they're attracting. But I just thought both of them brought that up in their speeches. But you know, that word that I got the other day about these elections and stuff like that, and the Lord making reference to these polished speakers. That really struck me when I was listening to both Hillary Clinton and Obama, how polished they were in the way they target. And I mean, you guys probably know this, but I don't usually listen to their speeches. But this time, I think because of what the Lord is saying to me, I just thought I was going to have just a brief look. So it's their use of language, with insinuation all the time, that with insinuations and labels that they place on the Republicans, or Trump's, the people who support Trump, like, they always bring up somewhere in their speech, bring up the black issue. Trump's crowd somehow have a problem with black people, which is so ridiculous. And the progressive, like we don't want to be progressive, it's just so subtle and so devious, I think. Anyway, that's just my personal little take on it. But so I have a message here, 21st of August, just got it just there. It's in relation to the economy, and what's going on, what's coming, I think, really. So the Holy Spirit gave me these words, okay? So I'm just going to jump in here and just share them with you. So first of all, I hear the song Fly Me to the Moon. Fly me to the moon, do you know that song? And let me play among the stars. And if you listen to the lyrics, it's fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, let me see what spring is like in Jupiter and Mars. And God was speaking to me about Elon Musk, and he was highlighting Elon Musk very much to me throughout this word. And we know that Elon Musk, his plan is to live on Mars. So it's so interesting that God gave me that song, because it literally speaks about it in the song. But anyway, I heard Tesla, and I felt that Tesla's going to skyrocket. Now, I don't know when. I'm not saying I know when. I don't know when. But I believe that Tesla is going to be like the government global cars, that is going to take off huge. It's going to be huge, huge. And it's funny the way I felt to say going to skyrocket, because like Elon is obviously also has SpaceX, But they're like two government granted, companies. So there's a lot more, I think, going on with Elon. Like, he kind of comes across kind of innocent, and you know what I mean, that he's not attached anywhere. But honestly, he has to. I don't know whether like the government is using him, and because he's their golden boy at the moment, that they're using him. So he has the freedom to be his own person and speak his own mind and all that. I don't know, but I think there's a lot more. I don't know. Anyway, I suppose we'll just wait and see. But I heard liquid gold, and I knew that was relating to the oil. God was highlighting oil. And I was seeing the impact on the dollar, and I saw the dollar become weak. Now, I know I'm probably not sharing anything new here. It's just that the Lord was highlighting this to me. I know the Lord highlighted this to me before in other videos as well. But I see the dollar getting weakened, and I have a sense of the BRICS nations. I just feel them. I also hear the word fiat currency, so I really think that due to what's going on, how they're going to shift the selling of oil into other currency, that this is what's really going to cause the currency to lose its value and to really become the fiat currency that it actually is. So I think it's going to weaken the dollar, and I had such a strong sense that inflation will soar as a result. Now, we're already seeing inflation in our country, and I know in your country also, but I felt it was going to soar like really badly. And my sense was that it, like where people were going to hardly be able to buy food, it was going to get that bad. It's going to be a sudden massive spike in inflation, like within a few months it was going to be through the roof. God highlights Elon Musk again, and that's what I was thinking about. Is it his usefulness to the government at the moment, and the government strategy to use him and how long? Then I hear, sorry, I'm cooking, it must be the spices. Then I hear Kamala Harris, the nominee, and then I hear Goldman Sachs. And in the past, I've heard Chase Bank. And in the past, I heard that Chase Bank will fail. So I don't know if Chase Bank is the first one that's going to fail. I don't know, but I did hear from the Holy Spirit. But this time I heard Goldman Sachs. I feel when the banks start failing, it will be similar to 2008. And I was wondering, like with me hearing these banks, is this the rumblings of a crash? And I hear the words no fail very strongly. And then I hear banks to fail. And I hear the word securities. So then I had a sense of Goldman Sachs, and I feel rumblings, and I feel insecurity going on in Goldman Sachs, and I like that there's cracks or something happening there, like there's some insecurity beginning. There was like rumblings, stirrings that something's amiss, you know. And then the subject changes, which is not unusual because the Lord does this with me oftentimes. And I sense the Indians, you know, the Indians in America, the original Indians that were in America. And I sense that their territories are going to be returned to them because of what they've suffered in the past. And I felt there's vindication coming to them. And I felt there's prosperity coming to them. And I felt this is from the Lord. This is the Lord doing it. So I'm just giving you what the Holy Spirit was telling me or showing me. So then I felt the greed of the USA is their downfall, and I felt the people, the Lord again was showing me that these people are indulgent, they're shallow, and I see the obese people, and I feel like it's evident that these people are even greedy. The greed is evident even from their physical appearance, and that they're in indulgent. Many of them are in indulgent culture, and God is not happy with this. He's not happy with this lifestyle, you know. So then I had a sense when the bubble bursts, when the economic bubble bursts, and I've had this, I've shared this in my other video a bit, but I sense this about the regular people, just the normal people now. I just sense there's going to be riots and civil unrest, and there's going to be violence, because people are not used to not having what they want, you know, they're used to being well looked after, you know. They're like spoiled children. That was my feeling, and this turmoil will cause them to be really angry, and especially when the social security goes, and so forth. I see rage, and I see fires, and I see a lot of upheaval, because the benefits are gone. That's social benefits. And they did not know that the day of reckoning would come, that God would call them to account for their lifestyle. that there was no fear of God in them, and that there was no substance in them, and there was no love for the Lord, and there was no carefulness about moral uprightness and integrity and the things that are valuable to God. They didn't store up the things that is important that God gives to us, like a spiritual life and good morality and living right and kindness and generosity and looking out for others, all these things, they forgot God, and they forgot that God gave them their wealth to begin with, that God blessed them, that God had prospered America very, very much, over the years. Again, I hear no fail. And then I hear banks fail. And this is loud. I really hear it like no fail and then banks fail. Like, it's like the media is saying, oh no, there's no fail, the banks can't fail, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden it turns and it's like, banks are failing, banks fail, And then I hear again securities. I don't even know anything about securities, I'll be honest with you, I'll look it up later. I hear window of opportunity, and I also hear get out while you can. Okay. So then again, I feel vindication coming to the Indians, the Indian population. And I see a man, he's kind of a handsome, kind of 40 plus kind of man. I can actually physically see him. And he's an Indian man, and he's been fighting for the Indian people for a long time. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm hearing the word brave, which is a word related to the Indians. It's a name often of the Indians, and in reference to them. And I again feel vindication and restoration is coming. So I feel there's a vindication coming to the Indians. And again, like territories, prosperity, finance is being released to the Indians. That's what I really feel. And it's from the Lord, because they've been waiting a long time for this. Again, I hear banks fail. And then I hear checks and balances. And I hear Elon Musk again. Okay, when I'm hearing Elon Musk again, I think the petrol cars are going to be taken out of circulation. Well, that's already happening, because we're going more and more into hybrid, the cars that have electric and petrol. But I think they're going to be taken out of circulation. I think the nations are going to follow. And then I hear Credit Suisse. And I hear sinking, and I hear the word marginalized. And I think it's a economic falter. Then I hear Switzerland to go under, and I feel it's for carrying Nazi wealth. And I know Austria, that God showed me Austria was carrying a lot of Nazi wealth as well, which God wasn't happy about. And that the Bank of Switzerland was carrying the wealth of the wicked, and for that reason I felt that it's going under. That's going under. So I don't know when the timing is on this. I think the Lord's just showing me these things. It could be soon, it could be 6 months, it could be 2 years, it could be a year, it could be 3 years, I don't know. God hasn't given me a timing on these. But this is what the words that God was speaking to me about the other day. So I just want to share those with you, and you can pray about them and see what God says about them to you as well. God bless you guys. I'll come back again soon. Bye.